Like the first thing that a lot of people are afraid of is that the offer is going to get pulled if they counter or if they push back, and that is a fear powered by desperation. I've been there before. I talk about my first recruiting job. I took 50K. I was trying to. I wanted to hear 60, but I was afraid that they were going to pull the offer.
I know some people may not have the confidence to put that number out there because they might say, "Oh, you said that," and I was like, "Man, listen, that's low compared to what they sending in my LinkedIn messages." I'm just telling them at a minimum of what I may or may not go. My mind might change the next day, but I would like to ask you that, being that you work with a lot of Black people, hiring them and probably helping them with their salaries. Have you found it to be that they are less likely to negotiate?
I think that for a lot of people, it's hard to negotiate salary because money itself is kind of hard for people to discuss. And I think this is kind of like old conditioning from like generations of how employee and employer relationships used to be. Um, so I do think that there is some initial difficulty because a lot of people just like the first thing that a lot of people are afraid of is that the offer is going to get pulled if they counter or if they push back, and that is a fear powered by desperation. I've been there before. I talk about my first recruiting job. I took 50K. I was trying to. I wanted to hear 60, but I was afraid that they were going to pull the offer. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as being somebody that's recruiting and on that side of the table, I always you always realize that it's easier for some to find somebody that the team wants to extend an offer to that will accept, because there's a reason why the team hasn't extended an offer to anybody else. So that's issue number one, I would say. So like everyone expects you to actually push back on the offer. So they won't rescind the offer. If they do, that's a red flag. You didn't want to work there anyway. Um, yep. You just dodged a bullet. And B, they expect you to push back. Like they will always try to, and this is why I tell people don't give ranges. Just say I'm targeting a salary of X. They will always try to get you at the lower end of the salary because that's their job, right? It's all part of the game, I like to say. Um, to talk to kind of touch base on what you just said, HD. I hate when recruiters do that. Like I hate, it could be recruiters that I'm talking to or recruiters that I on teams that I've worked with. I hate anything that's not transparent around pay. Like don't be fucking with people's money. That's my whole thing. That's like the most important thing. I always take the stance of I like you as a candidate and I like you as a person. If I like you as a candidate, because you can do the job technically, and if I like you as a person, I want to do everything possible for you to be excited if I put an offer in front of you, right? I'm going to tell you from the jump, this is me. I'm going to tell you from the jump what the salary range is. I'm going to tell you from the jump how they go about leveling. I'm going to tell you from the jump, you know, what like whether or not your ask could be something that's for variety's sake fair to the other people on the team at that level, right? And then I'm gonna ask you if you want to proceed knowing all of this information, right? Because the way I look at it, it is hard as hell to find people. If you hit me up and you're like, you know, we extend you an offer, that means you passed all of our technical tests. That means I don't got to go looking for another person. That means I could focus on some other shit. And there's a lot of shit I could focus on, right? But I got to fill this role first. So whenever like, and it's funny because whenever candidates come to me with on like salary calls, and like there's always like a little bit of like, and this is throughout my whole entire career, it's always been like there's always a little bit of hesitation because people are afraid to like say the number, and then I gotta tell them like, yo, I want you to tell me the number. No range, no bullshit. Tell me the number that you need in order to make this make sense, because I want you to work here. You tell me the number, I will take the number back to the powers that be, and I will fight to get you that number or as close as I can. Because at the end of the day, it's not my money.
And this last role was like, you know, I negotiated, I got more than what they was offering. And because the recruiter that had already told me, say, hey, yeah, they'll, you know, negotiate what you want, you know, you'll get it or whatever. But like I said, we was talking earlier, I was like, shoot, I probably should have negotiated some more. And didn't know I was going to be going working in the office, you know, this fast. And I told the story about my friend, you know, about the whole time. And that's why I was saying, like, it do help. If you're interviewing somewhere at a company and you know somebody that worked there, hopefully you can reach out to them and they can say, oh, yeah, we just did the quarterly call. The company did good. They got the money. Well, I'll tell them the whole time, hey, they got it. You know, don't shortchange yourself because this going to, you know, possibly dictate what you get at your next role if you know whatever you're going to do. And that's also like why I think like LinkedIn is cool to be updating stuff like that. Because now whoever I'm talking to, they can't just come in there and sell me some number that's dumb because they see who I work for. And so you could tell me something and I was like, okay, this not even worth my time. So I've been realizing that I don't know if they've been, and you're a recruiter, so you can tell me if I'm right on this or not. If they've been looking at my profile and saying like, oh, you know, this offers, you know, XYZ. Because now what people come into my DMs with is more than what they used to come in my DMs with. And it could also be because it's 2022, but I think it possibly has to do with my new job title as well.